Welcome to Fomo Consulting for your daily AMC stock analysis video on Tuesday, April 27th. Ladies and gentlemen, today we showed our strength, we showed our resolve, and our will to win. We also have some major breaking news I'll share very shortly. And as always, the apes are winning, the diamond hands are winning, the retail investor is winning. So hopefully you'll find this video informative and entertaining. And if you do, I ask that you please like, share, and subscribe. It's a newer channel, and I would certainly appreciate the support. Let's get into the video. First and foremost, thus far, I am overwhelmed with the amount of support, kind comments, the likes, the shares, subscriptions. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. So let's start with a quote from General Douglas MacArthur, 5-star General, United States Military. There is no substitute for victory. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we are in this to win. We are in this for the long term. We will not back down from our opponent. And I certainly believe after a day like today, that started with promise, we traded flat. We ended basically at even in a grudge match. Today, I believe, was a great day for us. We held the line, but we are in this for victory, and we will show our resolve and our will to win. So let's look at the broader market today. Overall, mixed. A lot of the blue chip stocks, some were up, some were down. The S&P, Dow, and NASDAQ all closed in the red. Not too bad, but red nonetheless. There were some great earnings last night from Tesla, Google, I believe this evening. So there's a lot of promising earnings reports coming out this week, it appears, that I believe will bolster not only the economy, the stock market, but also AMC as well. So I'm looking forward to the remainder of the week. So major breaking news this evening, ladies and gentlemen. AMC released an official filing regarding the May 4th shareholder meeting that they are removing Proposal 1 from stockholder consideration for the upcoming annual meeting. The 500 million shares not only will not be voted on, but it has been completely removed from the agenda entirely. So this is absolutely huge. There's still been a lot of anxiety, regardless of what the CEO said. In the marketplace, a lot of, I guess, arguments and, vote yes, vote no, vote your conscience. But at the end of the day, that vote has now been taken completely off the table, which I think is going to be a huge catalyst going into the remainder of this week, most certainly tomorrow. It's going to absolutely destroy the FUD factory. However, just a short time ago, they posted this. So the FUD factory is in full effect tonight. The ink is barely dry on the official SEC filing from AMC. Before this article was posted from MarketWatch, the headline reads, AMC to sell up to 43 million fresh shares, but calls off plans to seek approval for 500 million more. We all know, and the CEO was very clear in Trey's interview, that they have the 43 million. They've had the 43 million at their disposal for many years. They could use that for acquisition, emergency purposes, and quite frankly, if they did not use those shares in 2020 of all years, they are certainly not going to dip into them now unless it's for a very good purpose. So I would expect a lot of new FUD over the next 24 to 48 hours, completely spinning this, but this has completely destroyed the ability for the hedge funds to use May 4th as an anxiety-ridden, fear-laden tactic to shake the shares out of the retail investors' hands to cover their short shares. This is major. This is absolutely major. This further reinforces what the CEO said, and again, leading up to the May 4th meeting, expect just some additional FUD, but this is major for the retail investor to settle the nerves and anxieties. Ladies and gentlemen, the movies are alive and well. Mortal Kombat has posted $51 million worldwide over the weekend. Demon Slayer, very much a surprise worldwide, $409 million. This is through Box Office Mojo. Feel free to look it up. Absolutely incredible earnings worldwide. The movies, again, are alive and well. And certainly AMC has international interest, specifically in the European area. So this is fantastic news again. This removes a lot of the FUD discussion that the theaters are dying. They are certainly not. So let's look at the day. This was in my opinion, a very, very good day. We were over 13% yesterday in the positive. I don't believe it's a surprise that we had some sell-off, that people took profits. Day traders, institutions, everyone that's not buying and holding, right? It trickled the price down obviously throughout the day, but what I'm most proud of is that we held that line, of $11. They were not able to get it below about $11.22. We did skyrocket to $12.22 throughout intraday trading at the open. That was very promising. I do believe that $12 will be the fight this week, my personal opinion. But I believe the 500 million share news release in the last few minutes is going to be a big catalyst for us tomorrow to start some new investment. People that have been sitting on the sidelines waiting for the shareholder vote to see how it goes one way or another. Now that that's off the table, I do believe we're going to see some fresh money come in the market and into the stock tomorrow. So let's look just a little bit closer at the indicators as we've talked over the last few days. The moving average is now very much in bullish territory. It is looking outstanding. We have officially started a MACD bullish crossover. I believe, me personally, this will last at least 2 weeks, but that is just my opinion, not financial advice. Do your own due diligence, please. So let's look a little closer here. Certainly, moving average looks good. MACD crossing over. Could not be more pleased. On the right side is, for illustration purposes only, over the last couple of weeks we've been fighting and bouncing around that $9 level. We finally broke 10 late last week, which was very promising. We have skyrocketed, into the 11s this week thus far. I do believe once we break 12, we will hit that 14 rather easily, but I do believe we need to break the $12 level to do so, which will be a fight. But again, indicators all look very nice. We also do need volume, but I believe that will come with some of this breaking news this evening. So a quick look at back then and now. Back in March, as soon as we had the MACD crossover, we stayed bullish for at least, 3 weeks. We touched a couple times at the signal line, but overall we rose substantially, coming out of the 5s and all the way up to 1450 or so. I believe starting at a higher level now in the $10 range at that MACD crossover, I believe we are beautifully set up for a very sharp rise, hopefully to initiate the short squeeze, right? So looking back, I thought this was fairly interesting. It has been quite a while, but it has been going back to late February since we have had 4 daily green candles in a row. I was really hoping for a 5th today. We were close, but to have 4 green candles intraday is absolutely outstanding. And if you look going back to late February, once we had those 4 green candles in a row, it was a catalyst, I believe, that pressed us to 1450. I believe, again, we are starting much higher this time at the $10 mark. And I believe we will head towards the mid-teens, if not closer to 20, if we don't initiate the squeeze first. So I'm very, very bullish and very, very excited about the next 2 to 3 weeks. So let's look at the options. I do not personally trade options, but I do like to look at it for bullish sentiment. And today there were 2 absolutely huge trades. Both were calls, one at a $12 strike on May 7th, or expiring May 7th, the other one expiring May 7th at a $16 call. Both were over 1,500 contracts, absolutely massive. Just a lot of bullish purchasing going on, especially on the call side. So we are about 75-25, give or take, from a bullish perspective. This seems to increase just a little bit every day. IV is still running very low for such a volatile stock. Very attractive for the big money, right? Which is why they're buying in. So again, very, very optimistic about the future. These are the open puts expiring for this week. There is a lot of open interest on the put side expiring this Friday. I believe if we cross the $12 level, we sustain the $12 level, that will be unsustainable for the shorts. They will be forced to cover at some point this week. I do not see how, especially the ones that are expiring, at a strike price of 10, or excuse me, 6, 7, or even 8. It just doesn't make any sense, right? So I'm very, very bullish on the fact that we will see some covering this week, especially once we cross the $12 range. So let's look at that short interest. Let's look at all the short data. So the estimated short interest percent of free float is 23.89, continues to go up. Free float on loan, 36.89. Shares on loan, 154 million. Trickles up just a little bit more every day. The days to cover, which is I'll show you very shortly, is at 0.99. So let's call it 1. And 1 is always very, very high. Cost to borrow has gone up just a little bit at 12.16, but about the same as yesterday. Utilization is still at an astronomical level of 100%. There were 4 more institutional buyers that came into the stock today, which is huge. Retail still owns 79% of the stock, and we had a volume of 50 million. So I found this to be very, very interesting. So looking at the same Vortex data, 0.99 on days to cover. The exchange reported short interest history for AMC through yesterday, the days to cover was 2.06. I believe that is closer to the truth. It depends on how you calculate days to cover. It can be skewed due to heavy volume days such as the squeeze and some of the heavy volume days. If you shorten your time frame, you certainly get a different result. I personally believe we are in the 3 to 4 day range, but I did find it interesting that there is such a discrepancy between the days to cover there and what was reported as of yesterday. And just as a note, we were at a 1 in and around the time of the squeeze, the baby squeeze. So, and leading up to it on January 15th, we were at 1.21. So we are almost double that from the January squeeze. So this is an interesting chart to look at. So the yellow line on this chart represents the shares on loan. The purple line represents the estimated short interest. And as you can see, leading up to the January baby squeeze, both were relatively high. They were around 50 to 55 million on the shares on loan. We are now at our point now at 154. We are 3 times the amount of shares on loan as we were back before the January squeeze. Now, so this is an interesting little chart to look at. So before the baby squeeze, the shares on loan were around 55 million, give or take. We are currently at 154 million. We are 3 times the amount of shares on loan as we were before the baby squeeze. Additionally, if you look closely, in March, as soon as we got in and around that $12, $13, $14 range, there was a lot of shorts covering. The short interest fell off like a cliff. They got When we got to 14, obviously they attacked us very, very heavily. I do believe 14 is the launch pad. I believe that is their personal breaking point. They have already shown us that pain point. But again, if you look beyond that, the shares on loan, short interest, has absolutely skyrocketed past our highest price point recently in March, and now we are at 154 million. So again, I just find this very interesting and a predictor of the future. You can be the judge about what the squeeze will look like, but certainly the chart is very promising, correct? So I'm in this with you, diamond hands. Yes, I suffered a little red today as well. I personally hold obviously 4,800 shares in this one brokerage account, another 600 shares in my Weevil account. I am as bullish as anyone, and I am diamond hands, same as you, and I'm staying in until the bitter end. So a quote from Master Yoda: "The fear of loss is the path to the dark side." After days like today that are red, don't go as planned. We have some sell-offs. We had such a great day yesterday. Let's not get down. Let's not fear anything. We are certainly trending in a very positive direction. And I do believe Yoda is relevant today because if you think about it, the retail investor, the ape, the diamond hand, we are the smallest of the financial institution, right? We are fighting a much larger foe, but Yoda was the most powerful. So I do not believe we have anything to fear. We'll just use the force, right? We'll use the force of the apes, the diamond hands, and the retail investor. So I hope you found this video informative and entertaining. If you did, I would ask that you please like, share, and subscribe. Again, it's a newer channel, so I would appreciate the support. But as always, I hope your life is full of green candles. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.